So this is the Ring security system Gen 2, which comes after the Ring 1st Gen security system, which people found to be a little too big but an overall great system. This new system cleans up the hardware and looks far better in my opinion. Anyway, before we begin, if you haven't already subscribed, please remember to hit that subscribe button, as we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I thank you for helping me reach 700 subscribers. Inside the box, by the way, this is a 10-piece package, which is far better for houses with 3 or more rooms. I have linked the normal 8-piece Ring security system package in the description below if you'd like to check that out, as well as everything else I talk about in this video. So inside we have the brains of the system, which connects everything, as well as the main siren that we'll get into later, a keypad, range extender, motion sensor, and a total of 6 door or window sensors. First, I'll walk you through how to set this thing up. So to begin, the first thing you'll have to do is set up the brains of the system, and obviously this is through the Ring app. This is an extremely simple setup which you can place anywhere, and you don't have to mount it if you're maybe renting or you just don't like doing too much work. I didn't mount it in a temporary position, which probably should be placed in a somewhat higher place for less reachability, so I'll move that later on. But anyway, next you can set up the keypad, which you can also just place on a table and you don't have to mount it if you don't want to. Next you can set up the door or window sensors, which should be close to each other so it can sense the opens and closes of the door. Ring recommends that it's placed up to 1 inch apart. I ran into a bit of an issue with this other door, which has a frame design around it, which means the sensor is not near each other and will always stay open even though it's closed if I leave it at this position. What I did to fix this minor issue is to carve out a bit of the frame and place it inside the right side of the sensor, which would then fit snug. This does take about 30 minutes for each door if you have this issue. If you're also going to be placing window sensors, you can do it easily through many positions. Next, you can place the motion sensor on the corner of the wall using the adhesive like the door sensors. You can then place the range extender where you think there might not be enough Wi-Fi coverage, but since I already use a mesh system, that's not much of a problem since I have a node on each floor of my house, but I guess another extender wouldn't hurt. And with that done, we can check the Ring app and see what your system can do. The first thing you'll notice is the disarm, home, and armed mode. The disarm mode turns off all alarms and components of the security system. The home mode turns off the motion sensor, but door or window sensors can still trigger the alarm. And finally, armed mode turns on everything including the motion sensors and the door or window sensors. As a rundown of the Ring security system's protocols, if you're about to leave your house, you first place the keypad on away mode by putting in the passcode and then hitting the arm mode. The system then gives you 30 seconds to get out of the house before it fully arms the system. This is also the case when you come home, in which it gives you 30 seconds to disarm the system, but this is only given to the doors that are set as main doors when you first set up the sensor from the app. Any other secondary doors being opened would immediately trigger the alarm. And as for the alarm, it is quite loud. This will most likely reach all of the rooms of your house.
My body is ready.
You can also purchase additional sirens to place around the house for additional sound. A great thing about getting the Ring security system is that you can always add on accessories such as the flood and freeze sensor, smoke sensor, and even a panic button, as well as some other third-party devices. This system also has a $10 per month, or about $8.30 if you go with the yearly plan, for monitoring, which if you look at the rest of the home security systems out there, this is actually one of the cheapest as of now. Something I didn't notice about the motion sensor, however, is that it kept saying tampered for no reason, but I was able to fix this just by reinstalling the backplate. But besides that, the motion sensor is not very sensitive in my opinion. You have to be moving almost right in front of it for it to activate, which means motion in other rooms most likely won't be picked up. But this is a pro if you have dogs in your house and you can set it up in a way that it doesn't trigger below a certain height, ensuring your dogs don't trip the alarm. Though, you can still purchase additional motion sensors for other rooms if you think that's necessary. Overall, I would definitely recommend this security system for Ring. It has tons of customization depending on your house, and also has some of the cheapest monitoring from any company. Moreover, it has Alexa integrations, which means you can ask Alexa to arm the system as you're leaving the house, like so. Alexa, arm the Ring.
Ring is armed in stay mode.
The Ring also does have a geofence feature, in which if activated, it would remind you if you have left the house to arm the Ring, or to disarm the Ring if you arrive to avoid any surprises. I have links to everything in the description below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so as we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and that'll be all. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.